Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a Nikki Uncut. I promise you, this is my last Sephora order that I will be unboxing and testing out until the next Sephora savings event. I'm sure we're all a little burnt out at this point in seeing these videos of like what we bought and what's worth it and all that kind of stuff, but I do think they're really helpful. But I promise you, this is my last one for this season, okay? This was my very last minute order that I placed right before the Sephora savings event ended. It was like, you know, late at night. It was like the typical thing. You're on the couch, you're scrolling, and you're like, but wait, but what if, but wait, but all that, but that product, and then this person wanted me to try this, but wait, also, this person wanted me to try that, you know what I mean? Like you got it before you couldn't save the 10, 15, or 20%. And like, listen, it's not a huge percentage to write home about, but I will say, when you were talking about buying a $70 foundation from Prada that I have been asked at least 5 dozen times to test out, and I heard you loud and clear, and I had to deliver. So I saved 20% on this foundation, and I'm not mad about that because this is $70. This is also refillable, which is kind of cool. So let's just open this all up, okay? Let's just open this all up, test it all out, try it all out, and have some fun. And move my dog out of the way for a second. So this is $70. This is the Prada Reveal Skin Optimizing Foundation. This is supposed to be a soft matte foundation. This also has broad spectrum SPF 17. I will be sticking to relying on my Paula's Choice underneath my foundation as I typically do. Now I gotta tell you guys something because as a makeup artist, I can pretty well navigate and pretty easily navigate color matching myself, color matching my clients, especially. That's like, I could, you know, that's what I do. I've never had such a hard time figuring out what shade to buy myself in my entire life. I'm not even kidding you. I know it sounds like such an exaggeration, but I was stumped. Prada, you made it so difficult to figure out what shades were what, and all the swatches on all the models, they all looked the same in my opinion. Okay, so the color range, it's all over the map. If you go to the Sephora website, they don't start from lightest to deepest or deepest to lightest. It's like someone went like this and just like shook them all up and then like threw them on the website. You know what I mean? Like it's like completely scattered. It was like a jigsaw puzzle that I did not want to put together. So trying to figure out what the shades were going to translate as and like what shade I was going to be was incredibly difficult. I found that the picture references of what the shades were remarkably unhelpful. I mean, remarkably unhelpful. Even the swatches on the arms were also just difficult to navigate. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going on about this. Sorry, this is an uncut video, so you're going to hear like all the rants and all the thoughts. But yeah, that was just the most difficult time I've ever had trying to figure out what color to get myself. I ended up with MN40, so medium neutral 40. And I got to tell you, I think it's going to be a bit dark, but maybe just a touch. So we're going to play with this. And I'm going to open up the rest of what's in this box from my last Sephora order. I got a refill, or I got a jumbo size of the Kerastase Nectar Thermique. This is a recommendation from my client, my beautiful client and friend, Lisa Barlow. If you know, you know, okay? Like, she put this on the map. And her hair, I don't know if you've seen Lisa Barlow's hair, but it is quite stunning. It's perfection. And it's well taken care of. I also placed an order for 2 products I didn't even know existed until way too late. And at that point, when I found them and when I discovered them on the website for Sephora, most of the shades that I would have picked out and would have wanted were sold out. So I ended up just getting 2 that I think would be suitable and something that would fit my taste. These are like the new lip liners from Sephora. From what I understand, they have reformulated their twist up longwear liners, which I love. They're amazing. I don't know why they need to change them, but I'm hearing that these are more long wearing. These are the 8-hour colorful transfer proof lip liners. I got the shade Perfect Beige and Frappuccino. Very cute. But I will tell you guys, spoiler alert, I'm more than likely going to be testing out the Merit lip liners instead for this video because I have some thoughts and I want to show you what they look like on. I did take one of these to work with me last week and tested it out a few times, and I want to just put together a look, test it out with you. And I also got, I also took this to work too. I put it back in my box just so I can remember to show you all. But I got 2 of the new shade expansions from Armani. So these are the Luminous Silk Cheek Tint Shines. So they have like the regular formula ones, which look like this, and then they have the shine ones. So the shines are going to be just that. They're going to have a nice, soft, luminous look to them. And these are overall more of a tint. They're more, they're a little more sheer, but you can build them up really nicely. And I also got another Sephora product that's new. I got the Blush and Go in the shade 04 on Cloud 9. This looked like such a interesting and really pretty, like lavender lilac-y shade. Really want to try this out. I'm honestly probably going to put this, and then I will put makeup on my face soon, I promise you. And I'll probably pair it with the other shade in the Armani tint. Let me not throw out this box yet because the names are not on the bottom of the component, just numbers. So this is the shade Cosmic Pink, excuse me. I think this was Cosmic Peach. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'll link it. And last thing I got, and I'm excited for this, and I did save quite a bit of money on this. It's the Valentino Beauty Dream Dust. This is a multi-reflective eye glitter. I want to put this on, probably on top of one of my Armani paints, and let's just now dive into it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for the very long-winded intro to this uncut. I felt like I just had to get a lot of disclaimers out there, which I don't even know why. And you know what? Let's do some eye makeup first, okay? We're going to do Sandalwood from Armani. These are ridiculously easy to use. They've become an absolute staple in my daily makeup routine. I just swipe them on. I have a bit of concealer underneath my brows right now just to clean up the shape and to define the shape a bit more. So all over, just like that. Gonna grab a clean N16 brush. It's my concealer brush with BK Beauty, but I like to tap this in. I love to use this brush for eyeshadow bases, eyeshadow primers, liquid eyeshadows, and cream eyeshadows. So we're gonna lay this down and then kind of swipe out. Blending out the edges. We'll clean up the rest of this once we get concealer on, so I'm not going to worry about this portion right here. I just want a nice soft all over color, blown out, and really well blended out. And I think we'll dive into that Valentino product first because I don't know if there's gonna be like a glitter fallout. It is a glitter, like shimmery cream eyeshadow. And I don't want to mess up my Prada foundation. Now, I have heard really good things about that Prada foundation, and I have had so many of you guys reach out to me telling me it's good, first of all, and asking me to try it on my channel. So I'm just so happy that I remembered to put that in my cart very, very last minute, because I would have really kicked myself if I forgot it again during the sale, because I've forgotten to buy it quite a few previous sales. A little more sandalwood on this side. And then we can get this party really started. Okay, looks about even. I'm not super duper concerned. It's more about testing these products out than creating like a flawless makeup look. So Dream Dust in 02 Go for Gold. That's right, this is a gold shade. Look how pretty this packaging is. Oh, that's right, this is a really gold shade. I kind of forgot which one I picked out, to be honest, because this was a minute ago at this point. That is the bottle, or the jar. Very much a gold. Oof. Okay, my fingernails are way too long to dip my finger in that, but look how pretty that is. That's quite stunning. So let's do ourselves a favor and grab a brush. I'm going to grab the BK Beauty, the short 203 brush. Look at this cute little travel guy. Let's dip into Go for Gold. And I'm assuming this would go on better with my fingertips because of, the nature of the product. It's a glitter. but since I have long nails, well, okay, this is very chunky. Very, very chunky. And it looks like I'm gonna be wearing a glam eye makeup look for the rest of my day because I'm not gonna be taking this glitter off, that's for sure. Now, full disclosure, I did buy this for my pro kit. How often will I use this on clients? Probably once a year. Realistically, probably once a year, but am I gonna be happy to know it's in there? Yes, definitely. So I'm not noticing any fallout, which is a really good sign. I cannot wait. I almost want to cut my nails just so I can feel the texture of this with my fingertips. If you've tried this and you could attest to it being a nice texture and you've actually felt it with your fingertips, please leave that in the comments below. I don't remember off the top of my head how much this one cost. I don't remember it being particularly like expensive or like, you know, painfully expensive, but maybe I just blocked it out. I'll find out once I link it for this video, I'll tell you that. So that's what we're looking at. It's very pretty. It's still very soft. I think I want to add a little bit more to the eyelid on this side, on my hooded side. It almost has, let me just try to dig my finger in this. Oh yeah, okay. This has a bouncy, moussey, like almost like a putty, creamy texture to it. Very interesting. Very nice component. Very nice glass jar. I'm going to seal this up really tight so I don't dry that bad boy out. And now we need a little bit of eyeliner to finish up this eye makeup look. And I think what we should grab, and I kind of forgot to pre-grab an eyeliner before pressing record. So what we should do is grab a tried and true favorite. Let's just grab the Cocoa liner from Victoria Beckham, a staple in my life. I just actually grabbed it from my makeup kit because that's how often I use this. So Cocoa is a very creamy eyeliner. So when you're using this, or any of the Victoria Beckham eyeliners, I just want to caution you to use very light pressure because these go on full impact. Just tightline the inner corner. Just like that. Oh, that tickled my brain. I'm gonna grab a clean N12 brush. And we're gonna smudge this out. We'll pop on some mascara and then we'll try the Prada foundation, which I'm just incredibly anxious to put that on my face at this point. I gotta say that Valentino glitter is very grippy. It has not budged. I'll have to report back to you on whether or not it like falls down or flakes throughout the day because I will give this whole makeup look a very solid, close to 9-hour wear time, maybe like 9.5. Depending on like if I'm being lazy and I don't want to wash my face initially when I get home. But I will wear this out and about and really be able to report back. So just blending this out. Might have gone a little too dramatic with my eyeliner today. But it's okay. And you guys, the birds are chirping it up outside. Just softly blending the inner corner, connecting the line. I went a bit too thick right here, but it's not the end of the world. Eyeliner does not have to be 1000% matchy-matchy. Just get as close as you possibly can. And then go on with the rest of your day. That's really like how I like to approach my makeup, you know? Do the best you can, but don't agonize over it. Because then that just kind of sucks the fun out of it, you know what I mean? If you're like hyper fixated on something being like a little off or this or that, it just takes the fun out. Okay, I digress. Let's do some mascara. I'm still using and really liking the Lash Idol from Lancome. It's the Flutter extension, particularly because of the brush. I really like this small flat brush. Not flat, I'm sorry. It's more like a small, skinny, precise brush because I can really get in there. I have smaller eyes. One is very hooded. And this just gives me a lot of control. I pre-curled my lashes off camera with the BK Beauty lash curler. Put it back in my to-go makeup bag because that sucker does not leave. Let me not try to make the craziest mascara face while I'm doing this. So this mascara gives really good separation. If I haven't mentioned why I like this mascara, and I don't feel like I have mentioned this, to be honest, but really good separation, really good soft hold, soft volume, soft lift. Like, it's not one of those heavy mascaras, like, for example, like the Makeup by Mario one, the new one that just came out. That is a really heavy mascara. Like, you feel like the weight of it, if that makes sense. Like, you know when you have like a really lightweight formula that just kind of coats your lashes, keeps them like fluttery and soft and on an upward angle. The Mario, and I love Mario, but that Mario mascara is just it's really on the heavy side. So if your lashes can't take it, and mine really just cannot handle it, to be honest. So if you like a more lightweight formula that's easy to work with, gives good lift, length, definition, and some volume. Not like an absolute ton of volume, but like a very nice amount of volume. Then I do recommend this one. The bonus is this one does not flake on me. It does not leave me raccoony throughout the day. And it does not smudge. I like it. I like this eye makeup look. I think it's really pretty. It's glam, but we didn't put so much glitter on that it's like, oh my god, over the top. It's glam, but it's not, it's not like the most glam thing I've ever done and worn throughout the day, throughout the actual daytime. Could be more glam. Okay, without further ado, let's just take a minute to appreciate this very luxe packaging. I mean, wow, does this scream Prada and luxe? I don't know. If it doesn't, I don't know what does. This is quite beautiful. Silver mixed metal with the gold. I love mixed metal. I love metals in general. I love metal music. I love all things that are metal. But this mixed metal cap, amazing. And it even has like the Prada like minty green on the inside. Okay, let's hope and pray that I picked out a somewhat suitable shade. I don't think I did. Does this smell? I can't really tell if this has a scent to it, to be honest. So medium, neutral, 40. And it looks like this is going to be my summer shade. I can make it work. I have an easier time adjusting to foundations that are not quite my exact match because my body, my neck, my chest, my arms, my hands, everything is so much darker than my actual face that, if I really want to be even Steven over here, I could use a darker foundation like this to even out my entire being. So I can get away with it. Is it my best match? No, but it's definitely not my worst one. And for $70, I'm not taking it back. I had this whole rant about why I don't take foundations and products like that back. I believe last week on my Nikki and Cut. So if you missed that video and you want to know that rant, just head on over there. It's there waiting for you. So far, this is blending in very nice. I did not realize, to be quite honest, that this was supposed to be, like, it's marketed as a soft matte finish. I am so here for a soft matte finish. I am tired of being goopy, soupy, and drippy. So, very much here for this as an oily girl who loves to wear her sunscreen and her lotions and potions and her anti-aging concoctions underneath her makeup. I'm very much here for a soft matte moment because it balances out other things that are underneath, it balances out the effect. So now I'm going to switch to a tapping motion. I'm looking at it on the monitor. I think I need a lot more over here. You can see my pale cheek peeking through. So combining my tapping motion, just doing a little tap, 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 and then a little buffy, buff, buff. Sorry, I thought Tomas was throwing up down there, but he's just licking himself. Let's do a little buffing around the jawline. I will say too, like this feels virtually like nothing is on my skin right now. I'm going to do another pump. I'm not detecting any kind of fragrance, like at all. And I'm tripping out over that because luxury brands and luxury makeup brands, they always contain some bit of fragrance, you know, whether it's Dior or YSL, Armani, they always have some kind of fragrance to it. And this does not, unless my smeller is totally off, but I don't think it is. Very pretty foundation. I can see why a lot of you have recommended it and told me to try it and thought that I would like it, because this is really looking quite gorgeous. Trying to avoid my brows, which are, I have to say, I did a really good job applying my brows before I jumped on camera. I used a few things that are tried and true. The Revie Beauty brow pencil that I'm newly hooked on. I go between, by the way, I got this question quite a bit. I go between these two the most at the moment, with the little side of this one from the drugstore. But I did get a question asking me, you know, that you're using the Revie Beauty, like what about the Victoria Beckham? Both are great. I have both in my possession. I alternate between the two. They're both fantastic. Obviously, the Revie Beauty is much, much more affordable than the Victoria Beckham, but they're both standout, fantastic brow pencils. All right, we're going to blend this down my neck just a touch, even though it pains me to do that, especially when I'm wearing a black top that I didn't want to get makeup on. This hair is going to drive me wild. All right, I think we're good. I think we're blended. Takes a bit more time to blend in foundations that are a touch too dark, because you really gotta make sure there's no areas that you have not covered, because it's gonna be more detectable. Whereas if I had a true color match going on, I would have spent probably half the time blending in this foundation. But wow, really pretty. I can see it's starting to dry down. We're going to leave it be. We're going to let it do its thing for a bit. And let's actually dive into concealer. And I've been using and quite frankly, absolutely loving this ridiculously expensive concealer. So this is $70 for a foundation. This is $68 for a concealer. It's a Sarah Creole Face Flex Concealer. I have the shade 2. Full disclosure, and you're going to crack up. I bought an additional number 2 for my professional kit to use on a particular client, and it looked amazing. It wore amazing. It was really a nice formula on my client. So that's how much I like it. So we're going to add number 2 in all the usual places. We're going to cover up these dark circles. We're going to do a little lifty lift around here. And let's do a bit more around my nose, because we're going to want to do a little bit more highlighting than usual, since that foundation is, you know, a touch on the dark side. So spreading this out, I'm not going in for more product. I'm just using whatever's on this brush, which ends up being a lot. Let's do a little highlight down the nose. Let's do a little lift in the outer corner of my lips. Okay. It's going to look a little funky. Let's let this dry down for a second, because I need to open up this blush, and I have a feeling this is going to take me a long time to do that. So let me grab my little makeup scissors and let's pull. Actually, let's do this. Does anyone else have like a really hard time opening packages and like packaging? I mean, I feel like it just gets harder and harder. I talk about this a lot, so I know. But it's so hard to open up makeup packaging, and everything is like so intensely sealed and closed, and just I do appreciate it when you're buying stuff in store, but my gosh, it's difficult. Okay, once we get the 45 layers of this tape off of this, oh gosh, help, help, my fingers hurt. All right, I think that was the last bit. Okay, so liquid blush, this has a really cute little doe foot applicator. Let me show you it. That's the applicator. It's a little bitty sponge. So we're going to use this, and we're going to use it with the, whatever this was called. I already forgot the name. It's like luminous pink or something like that. Can't remember, but it's the number 53. I'll link it, don't you worry. Okay, now that we've talked, we've let this dry down a bit, I'm going to grab my N14 brush, and we're going to blend out the Sarah Creole. The number one thing that I have to complain about, believe it or not, other than the price tag of the Sarah Creole, is the shade. The amount of shades that are available is astonishingly bad. It's really, really bad. I do understand they're more of a startup brand. They're newer, but they are in Sephora. And, you know, they're not just being sold direct to consumer on a website where, like, you know, you could tell they're being only funded by one person or, like, you know, a few small people, right? When you're in Sephora, it's just a little bit of a different ballgame. So it's a little disappointing that a brand that's in Sephora right now, that's not some like gigantic brand like Tarte, for example, is producing concealers with such limited amounts of shades available. So I do really hope that they expand, and time will tell. We'll see. Because I want to talk about this concealer a bit more, but I also feel bad. It's like, you know, there's barely any shades to choose from. So with that said, I don't make the rules. I just work here, and I do love this concealer. It is quite beautiful. Let's go back to the N17. Let's buff out any harsh edges. Really melt these two worlds together. And when I'm buffing with the N17, I really just like to use the tip of the brush where it has the two fibers that meet together, and kind of use it like almost the way I would a beauty blender. Just like that. Skin is feeling so nice. It's looking, I think, so pretty on camera. I cannot get over the glitter on my eyes. Is it daytime appropriate? You be the judge. It makes me happy, so that's all that's important. Okay, let's add the now Luminous Silk Cheek Tint in this beautiful glowy pink shade. Actually dip back in, get a good amount on this doe foot. And my idea is we're going to layer this underneath the Sephora Collection one, because this has the glow. The Sephora Collection one does not. We're going to cocktail these two together to get a really pretty, hopefully, look. And I do feel like this is going to go really well with the lavender. We need another brush. Let's grab a clean 109 brush from BK Beauty and just slowly tap this in. Anywhere I want a soft wash of pink. It's actually quite pale on me. It's a lot more pale than I thought it was going to be. It's pretty though. If you're getting these and you're using them, I would keep in mind using them and looking at them more as a blush topper or a blush cocktailer. So I wouldn't necessarily wear these alone. They're not going to give you the impact that you would probably hope for and want, because they're sheer, and on top of being more sheer in a tint, they have shimmer in them, so that sheers out the product even more. So don't go into it thinking that you're going to wear these alone and they're going to be like super high impact and they're going to be like this beautiful glowy luminous blush, because they're, again, a tint, and again, now this one has the shimmer in it, so it's double diluted basically. But what you are left with is a really pretty soft glow. Now, normally you would not see me swipe on an applicator on top of my foundation and my concealer, but I've used this, the other formula, in the past a million times, and I already know that it doesn't actually rip up your makeup or break it up, so that's one of the reasons why I can go in directly with that little sponge applicator. Okay, so now, moment of truth, we're going to layer this bad boy on top. Oh, cute. Very cute. Oh, so it's like a Interesting. Gosh, can you see that inside? It's really, really interesting. It's like a wet pot. You just like dip into it. Oh. Okay. Very cool. I wish I could get more out of it. I should probably blend this out before it dries. Huh. Okay. Definitely not as impactful as I was picturing this to be. And I do feel like maybe I need to shake it. You know what? Let's shake this up. Liquid blush matte finish. Okay, so it's supposed to dry down to matte finish. Didn't realize that. Well, it's not going to dry down to matte finish because I'm putting it on top of that luminous one from Armani, but just know it's supposed to be matte. The color is really cute. It's definitely a very pretty kind of purpley pink lavender shade. Probably shouldn't have gone so warm on my eyes with this more cool tone blush, but it's not going to clash too much. We'll make it work. All right. It's a bit underwhelming, if I'm being totally honest. I need more time to play with it, but first impression is it's cute. This is very satisfying, but I'm not sure how impressed I am with it. It's cute. It's nice. I'm not blown away, basically. So I'll need more time to like test it out, and I'll definitely need to test it out not on top of a luminous cheek tint from Armani. So that's it, layered together. It's not bad. It's okay. It's still cute. Now we need to powder our skin and get the rest of this show on the road. I'm going to go in with tried and true at this point, Makeup by Mario, the Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder in the shade Fair Pink. And, you know, this keeps me in check all day. So it's a very reliable powder in those terms. Like I can just pop it on and I know it's not going to, I'm not going to get super shiny throughout the day, but it's also not going to make me feel incredibly dry like the desert. So it's a really great, very universal powder. I always say that I think that's a great powder for dry skin, mature skin, but it's also been amazing for my very oily skin as well. I'm going to switch to a clean N14 brush. Both of these, you probably noticed, are bedazzled from one of my wonderful viewers. Shout out to Angela for doing this. I love these. So I'm going to tap into the cap, tap off the excess, press right up in the inner corner, and we're going to really mattify this area right here because I get super duper shiny throughout the day right here, and I just want to avoid that. So right there is going to get nice and matte. Between my brows is another hot spot for me. So let's lock this in. Let's do a bit right here. I always like to powder this part of my area of my temples, excuse me, because I don't like when my hair sticks to the side of my face. It drives me crazy. So a bit more powder around my mouth. In fact, there's a reason why I'm really powdering my lips right now, because we're going to dive into that Merit lip liner. And I have noticed by using one of those last week that we'll get to it, but basically they're very creamy. They're very sheer. And if you apply them to, let's say, your lips, and your lips have like some remnants of like lip balm or like some moisture residue around them, it will not adhere. Like it will just go on even more sheer, and they're already sheer to begin with. So I'm pre-powdering my lips so that lip liner has a bit more grip, which is what I prefer. But we'll talk more when we get there, don't worry. Okay. That was very loud. Okay, makeup is powdered. We're going to go in real quick before we do the lip liner with the Dior Forever Nude Bronzer. I have the shade 10 Soft Matte. I believe this is the lightest shade. Dior, you need more shades in this. Like, I think there's only 4, and it's such a killer formula. I just wish I could recommend it to more people. So, you know, hopefully Dior will they'll listen to us at some point, someday. But it is a beautiful, very scented bronzer. I like to use a big brush for this, or a smaller brush if I want to do like a soft little like sculpty sculpt with it. I want to just do a nice diffused wash with it. So I'm going to use the 104 brush from BK Beauty, tap into it, tap off the excess, and we're going to hit the highest points of my forehead. I find this formula blends out really buttery, really soft, really natural. It's a very easy formula to work with because it's not like over the top pigmented out the gate. So it's a lot more user friendly in that way. It's not like full impact right away. I mean, of course, unless you're using a really small, more like densely packed brush, then it's going to pick up a lot more product. But if you're using the right brush for it, which is what I would want you to do, it's going to go on nice and soft and really, really easy. So if you have a hard time with bronzers and you have a hard time, you know, applying too much all at once, make sure you're switching to a bigger brush that's going to give you a soft wash of color. So if you're heavy-handed, it's going to help you out a ton. So buffing this on, and look how soft and pretty and just, it just has like this airbrush quality to it, like a very soft focused airbrush kind of vibe to it. Really getting in there around my hairline to kind of close in my forehead a bit. Same brush, I'm basically just going to use a small tapping motion just to get just the outer edge of my face. I don't want to go over top of that blush too much because I don't want to muddy it up. And layering your bronzer on top of your blush is one of the quickest ways to get a muddied effect. So I'm really just being very, very careful. Let's hit the jaw. Let's hit the nose. I'm not going to contour my nose. I'm just going to add a soft wash of color in the center just to really like tie in the center of my face. There's days I want to contour it, there's days I want to sculpt it slightly, and there's days I just want to throw bronzer on and look a little bit more youthful and a little bit more natural, minus my eye makeup. Okay, so that is on. I'm going to switch one more time to a different brush. I'm going to grab a clean N12 brush, dip back into that bronzer, and I'm just going to do what I normally like to do, which is add whatever bronzer I'm using that day to the bottom lash line. Just like that. Just to kind of tie in the eye makeup look, round up my eyes a bit. And then we're almost to the point where we're going to talk about the Merit, I promise you. I do want to just buff down this bit of liner a bit. I went a little too far out on this side. So I'm using the Angie Hana Flashy A505 with whatever leftover concealer it has, which is just the right amount to kind of just erase that a bit, soften it up a bit too. Okay, we're almost there. And you know what, since I cannot help myself and I'm really hooked on this, I'm going to use this as well. I've been using all my new products and properly like really testing them out, really trying to get a good gauge on how I feel about them and how I like to use them. And so far, there's not one bad way to use this highlighter. It's a powder highlighter, but it is so soft and so finely milled. It is so, it just melts into the skin in such a flattering way. It's not chunky. It's not over the top. It is just quite stunning. Now, one of my favorite ways I've been showing how to use this highlighter has been underneath cream blush, but I like to switch it up. There's no right or wrong way to use this powder highlight. The shade that I have, and I'll link this one too, is number 02 Gold Halo. So a little bit on the tip of my nose, a little bit on the top of the bridge, avoiding the center so it's not like a slope of glow. And now we can do some Merit. Okay, let's talk about these Merit lip liners. Now, I'm seeing a trend, and I want to talk about this for a brief second. I'm seeing a trend in sheer lip liners. So it started with the Rhode lip liners. I'm sure it started somewhere else, and then it picked up with Rhode. I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I just can't imagine that they came up with it, but maybe they did. If you know, just tell me. But so sheer lip liners are not super impactful. They're not super opaque, so they're going to go on more natural. Now, there's a market for those lip liners. I'm not the targeted market, okay? I love fully pigmented, full impact, pro-like, performance with my lip liners because they're in an area that is like what I call like high traffic, where you have so much movement, you're eating, you're drinking, your lips do a lot throughout the day. So I'm just not the girly that loves a sheer lip liner, but I will say there is a market for it. And I think that this is a good idea that Merit launched these because their market is more natural, more sheer, you know, like just more natural makeup looks, right? Like they're not like the one size beauty, you know, they're not like KVD. They're different. They have their own thing. And I think that these lip liners really, really fit well with their makeup catalog, basically, like with their makeup story. Anyway, let's move on. Let's try them out. I threw out the boxer one of them because I did take that one to work with me, but I got two shades. I got Tobacco and I got Bespoke. Bespoke has been my favorite. I'm going to swatch both. Now, the one thing I will say that's probably a little shady is the actual packaging of these is incredibly cheap. They're just like a hollow. They're like very, very hollow. It's like buying fake jewelry that's like hollow. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but they feel very cheap. Like you open them and you think, oh, it's going to be a really heavy luxe, like almost like an hourglass eyeliner type feeling, and it's not. It's completely the opposite. So Tobacco, let me show you. I'm getting these mixed up because they're so hard to read them. Oh no, was this Bespoke? I'm already getting confused. Okay, so this is Bespoke. It's like a sheer, neutral earth tone, basically. And then Tobacco is going to be deeper. Not by much, but deeper and a bit more warm. So Bespoke, Tobacco, you could see how sheer they are, and you could see also like these went on top of my very, very dry hands, and they're glossy. They're very, very glossy. Now, not my favorite thing when I'm describing a lip liner, but again, because they're glossy, they're going to end up being more sheer. They're not going to be able to grip on, and they're not going to be as opaque, basically. So I'm going to go on with Bespoke. I'm going to twist it up. And the reason why I pre-powdered my lips is because if my lips had any kind of moisture to them to start, the combination of my moisturized lips and then a glossy, already very sheer lip liner, you just want to get any little to much impact. So, and I want more impact. I'm an impact kind of person. I like it. So let's go over and stop talking. And I'm going to tell you after I'm done who I think that these would be good for, okay? So Bespoke. I really love the tone of this, by the way, in case I did not mention that. I love the actual color of this. As sheer as it is, I think it's a really beautiful shade. I think that I picked out a really, really solid one with Bespoke. So you can see I'm going over them many times. I'm trying to layer this as best as I can. You know, but since it's glossy, it's kind of like the same idea as like trying to layer a lip gloss to get more impact. You can only layer so much because it just starts to pile on top of each other and just create like that, a soupy mess, basically. For lack of a better way to put it. Let's add a bit more because I just cannot help myself. Now, who this is for is going to be the natural makeup wearer. You know, like the natural makeup wearer, someone who doesn't like the way their lips look when they're lined. If you're that person, if you don't even like lip liner to begin with, but maybe you want just a little bit more definition and a little bit of something to like, you know, bring out your lip shape without it being like fully opaque and fully impactful, then I would definitely suggest checking these out. These could be the perfect formula for you. But if you're a full glam girly like me, if you love a lip liner moment, if you live for that kind of look, if you rely on lip liner in your everyday makeup routine, then I don't think these are going to be for you. I think you should definitely skip them. But like I said, there's a market for these. There's a person for them. I'm not that person, but with all that being said, I bought both of these and I'm going to use them and I'm going to get my money's worth, and I'm going to let you know if my thoughts change on them, if my opinions change. But so far as of filming this video, I think that these are great for the natural makeup lover, even like the mature makeup lip wear, right? Like let's say you have mature lips and you don't want to emphasize them too much. You don't want to add too much like attention to them, but you want like a little bit of something. Then I think a natural color in one of these that best suits your skin tone would be a really great option for you. So those are my thoughts. I'm going to do something a little different. I've been newly hooked on using this Prada pH adjusting. I don't even like products like that, but this one got me so hooked. This is like a pH adjusting pink lip balm. It's just called lip balm. Yeah, Prada lip balm, basically. I have used a significant amount of this and I just love the way this feels on my lips. And I actually wore this combination with Bespoke last week to work and I really like the way it looked. So, is it natural? Yes. Is it the longest wearing lip combo I've ever put on? No. Not at all. Definitely not. But it was pretty, so adding a bit of that in the center. And then I'm a perfectionist, so I have to go back over this lip line one more time. And then that, my friends, is going to be the Nicki and Cut for this week. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Prada foundation finally, and the lip liners and the rest of the makeup. I love the way the makeup look came out. I try to keep the rest of my face really, really soft to balance out the eye makeup being a bit more dramatic than I initially anticipated to be. But this is the glam. This is the lip. If you have any other questions about the lip liner, or if you have any other questions about the foundation, the blush, leave them in the comments below. And don't you worry, I will be continuing to give you my thoughts on these products as I test them out. Most of these were first impressions, so just keep that in mind. My thoughts could change from time to time, so give me more time to test them out. But this was the look. I had so much fun. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. I appreciate you all so much for watching, and thanks for watching these uncut videos. They're a lot of fun for me to film, and that's the look. It's pretty. It's really pretty. I like it. Leave your thoughts below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.